Hello, my name is Amal. Today I'm going to be talking to Minnie from Invictus Wellbeing about how to get work experience when you have no experience. Hi Minnie, thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure, thank you for having me.
Why does getting work experience feel like a struggle for so many young people?
I think it feels like a struggle because so many entry-level jobs still ask for experience. So you think, how am I supposed to get experience if no one gives me a chance? That can feel really unfair, and it's not just practical, it hits your confidence. After a while you start wondering if you're the problem, but you're not. The key is to rethink what experience actually means. Employers don't only mean paid jobs. Experience can include school projects where you worked in a team, looking after siblings or caring for family, volunteering, being part of a sports team, running a social media page, creating content online, organising events. All of that builds real skill. You can also start small, so shadowing someone for a day, help at a community event, or do a short virtual placement. Micro experiences do count and they build momentum.
How does lack of experience impact young people's mental health?
Well, repeated rejection can really hurt. You send applications, hear nothing back, or get a no, and it's easy to start thinking, I'm not good enough. Some young people stop applying altogether because it feels safer than being rejected again. But rejection's part of the process, even for adults with years of experience. It doesn't mean you're incapable, it just means that the competition is high. Some things that can help is practicing interviews in low pressure settings, doing CV workshops, joining peer groups so you're not doing it alone, focusing on small wins, so things like finishing your CV, sending one application and getting feedback. That progress matters a lot more than perfection.
What hidden skills do young people often underestimate?
Young people underestimate themselves all the time. If you've balanced schoolwork and home responsibilities, that's time management. If you've worked on group projects, that's teamwork and communication. If you've built something on a game like Minecraft, managed a team in FIFA, or solved levels in complex games, that's strategy and problem solving. If you faced challenges at home and kept going, that's resilience. The trick is learning how to translate those into employer language. Instead of saying, I help at home, you might say, I manage responsibilities and prioritise tasks effectively. Same skill, different wording.
How can young people gain experience if they can't access formal placement?
Well, not everyone has family connections or access to big companies. It's a real inequality issue. But experience doesn't have to start formal. So you could volunteer locally, help with a community project, build a digital portfolio, art, coding, writing, photography, blogs some people do short virtual internships, ask to shadow someone, and that could even just be for one day. At the beginning, experience doesn't have to be paid to be valuable. The goal is to show initiative and build examples you can talk about.
Right. What roles do confidence play in breaking the cycle?
Honestly, confidence is often the bigger barrier than skills. Some young people don't apply because they assume they won't get it, especially if a job description, for example, lists 10 requirements and they only meet 6. But here's something important. Most adults don't meet 100% of job criteria either. Confidence grows through action. Practice interviews, role-play scenarios, apply even if you're not perfect. Celebrate sending the application, not just getting the job. Confidence isn't something you wait for, it's something that you build.
How can schools and colleges better support this transition?
Careers education sometimes starts too late, and by the time students are thinking seriously about jobs, they may already feel behind. Schools and colleges can help by bringing in real employers to speak, sharing stories from former students, embedding employability skills into everyday lessons, offering supported work tasters, and providing mentoring. When young people see real examples of different routes, it can make the future feel more possible and less scary.
What advice would you give a young person who feels stuck and discouraged?
Okay, so first, this is not a personal failure. The system can be tough and competitive. Second, shrink the problem. So instead of I need a job, focus on improving one section of your CV, learning one new skill, sending one application a week. Track your progress. When you look back after a month, you'll see growth. And don't do it alone. Speak to a careers advisor, youth worker, teacher, or a trusted adult. Sometimes encouragement is just as important as opportunity.
Are there alternative routes into employment beyond traditional job applications?
Yeah, and a lot of young people don't realise how many options exist. So there's apprenticeships, supported internships, traineeships, self-employment or freelancing, networking, and speculative applications. Sometimes a conversation leads to an opportunity faster than filling out a long online form. Not every career starts with apply now.
How do social and economic factors create additional barriers?
Young people from lower income backgrounds can face extra hurdles like no easy transport to workplaces, no professional networks, needing paid work immediately because volunteering is not always a completely feasible option for some people, limited access to laptops or reliable internet, and that's not about motivation, it is structural. To reduce the impact, we need travel bursaries, free CV and interview workshops, partnerships between school and local employers, mentorship schemes, and more paid placements. Opportunity shouldn't depend on who you know or how much money you have.
If you could change one thing about the system to remove this no experience barrier, what would it be?
I'd encourage employers to focus more on potential and past experience. So that means removing unnecessary experience requirements, hiring for attitude and willingness to learn, creating entry-level roles that genuinely train people. Every experienced worker was once inexperienced. If we want young people to succeed, we have to let them start.
Thank you so much for talking to us today, Minnie. I'm sure our listeners will have found this really interesting.
Thank you for inviting me, it's been really fun.